This club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0. Sorry for smiling there.
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United are back in business this upcoming weekend. Last push before the end of the EPL season. And United, 10 games left to go in the league. Hopefully 2 games left to go in the FA Cup. But now it's about finishing strong. United have had a very poor season. Finally, some glimmers in the last couple of months, but it's all about how we finish. It could all be for naught if we kind of languish at 6th or even get worse with some teams now on our heels. But either way, a lot of things going on at the club. International break. Kobe Mainoo making his England debut. Keep off him, Gareth Southgate. That's as close as we want to get. That's as close as we want you to get to any Manchester United players. But either way, big game against the Bees on Saturday. Sir, how we feeling?
I mean, here we go. The run-in starts this weekend. And, man, it's been a nice break. You beat your bitter rival in the FA Cup going, and plus the draw as well, Coventry, going to Wembley. And then these 10 games coming thick and fast. United need to put up or shut up. This is it. Playing for keeps. 10 matches to keep your job at Old Trafford. Eric Ten Hag, we need this to end well. It's got to look good, and we need everyone on the same page. The bluffers, time to stop showing up. And as far as injuries, we got them. But there's no excuses right now. You can't just have an injury right off season. We got to finish strong, and Ahmad's got to feature. These kids got to come through, and this is just about galvanizing the team, going on a run, and seeing what we got.
100%. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Cliches, as tried and true as they are, they're often very true. So this is the way we salvage the season. It's like this guy, he wants another run at it, and if he finishes strong and finds a way to finish in the Champions League spot, even if that's 5th, and somehow we nick a trophy, I think you'd be hard-pressed to say he hasn't earned the 3rd year of his actual existing
How do
contract.
you nick a trophy?
Yeah, steal one against the best team in the world. So that's how you nick a trophy. But I think that, we beat Liverpool. Great win. And United knows that, hey, we show up. We can hold our own against just about any team in the world. Brentford, one of those tricky teams, right? They're bottom half of the table, not even as frisky as they were last year. They're near the relegation zone, but they're still dangerous. They're going to be at home. They've bitten us before, right? Obviously, the famous, I believe it was 4-0 drubbing at the beginning of Eric Ten Hag's tenure, where the hot seat was so hot right away. So, they might be in the bottom half of the table. They might be near the relegation drop, but they're going to come to play. They're going to be playing fired up. It's a night game. It's a 1 p.m. Pacific Saturday game. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, but either way, I'm excited for it. I just hope the boys don't wet noodle, because then we know how the season's going to end.
Look, I don't think anyone's wet noodling. It's just more of the same. I mean, it's just been shitfootball.com. Can't run a full 90 minutes. The subs haven't really helped until the FA Cup quarters. And I think it's just been an off year for everyone at United. I mean, just look around. We had players leaving, Rashford clubbing, people showing up in certain games, not in others. And in the league, you're going to get exposed. In the FA Cup, maybe not. So let's just hope things trend upwards and to the right. The mojo's flowing at Old Trafford, and the boys are playing good football, because you're going to have to be sharp. And it's these games against Brentford, these away games, that are going to be the tough. You're going to have to dig it out. It might not be pretty, but we got to see that same fight we saw against the Scouse Bastards. That's what fans have been dying for all season. You heard it in the Stretford end. You heard it around Old Trafford when we beat our rival. But it's one thing to get up for a big game in a cup competition. It's another to do it away, back against the wall against the Bees. And Brentford are going to be coming. Sir, quick PSA for the podcast. You like the America Red Devils. We are for fans, by fans. No sponsors on the podcast. You want to support us directly, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Tons of benefits also. Behind the scenes podcast every single month. Please check it out. Also, if Patreon's not your thing, grab something in our store, AmericaRedDevils.store. Very easy. Get a scarf, shirt. It's all in Alex's garage. I'll ship it right to you, no matter where you live across the world. Also, check out our blog, AmericaRedDevils.com. I threw up a nice blog about Gareth Southgate. We'll get into the Southgate news soon enough. I know Alex is very triggered by the rumors. Sir, tell him about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the American Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like, hopefully, yourself. And even better, we're giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to americadevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship a free piece of ARD merch, send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great one from Lord Dawes, 5 stars. #1 United pod. As a United follower from Long Island, I really had no place to go for in-depth pregame and postgame talk until I stumbled upon the pod, and now it's essential for game days. Thank you, Lord Dawes. Thank you for everybody writing those
Strong Island
reviews. Let's go.
You know, we grew up from the
They're
rival
cousins.
of Strong
They're
Island.
basically our cousins.
You know, we're
Our
rivals.
cousins.
You know, Long Island versus New Jersey, you know, there's a lot of... We go
Peers.
blow for blow,
Peers,
blow for blow.
peers.
I think we shouldn't be fighting each other.
Same
you know?
tribe.
We should-
It's basically the same tribe.
All right, we're talking preview time. Brentford. Sir, I got the wrong music. This is the recap music.
What are you, me?
We're,
Are you me pressing the wrong buttons?
we're a little rusty.
Still
It
up.
is early here. We get up 6 a.m. West
dark
Coast.
out.
Okay, now we're getting the Brentford preview, sir. Manchester United, Brentford. This is more like a G-Tech Community Stadium. It's a G-Tech Community Stadium, sir, now. Saturday, March 30th, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Lifetime versus the Bees. We've won 10, drawn 2, lost 6. First time we went toe-to-toe, January 1928. Cooked them 7-1 in the FA Cup. I could go for a 6-1, a 7-1, sir. What about that?
4-1, 2-1. I just want to win, baby. Win, baby, win. That it's not going to be 7-1. It's going to be super tight. If we walk away with 3 points, it's going to be a tight one.
Last 5 against Brentford. 1-4, lost 1, but we lost that one by 4-0. They absolutely just blew the brakes off us in the early 22-23 season. We have gotten the better of them since, but this game I feel is going to be closer than we want. Brentford coming in, they lost to City by 1. West Ham beat them 4-2. Drew Chelsea 2-2, lost to Arsenal 2-1. Burnley pipped them 2-1, but there was a red card in that match. They are all over the board, but they have the Dane on the touchline. Like we said, nicknamed the Bees. They were founded in 1889, and they just got the new G-Tech Stadium built in 2020.
G-Unit Stadium, sir.
The nickname was unintentionally created by students of Borough Road College in the 1890s when they attended a match and shouted the college chant, "Buck Up Bees." You might be hearing that "Buck Up Bees" away. They won the championship final in 2021 to be promoted to the highest rank of English football for the first time since 1946-47. That's why we haven't played them a lot. Main rivals are Fulham and Queen's Park Raisins. Should be an exciting game. Playing the 3-5-2. Ivan Toney's back from the betting scandal. Reguilon. Jorgensen. That's about it, sir. How are you feeling?
Wisa. Hey, Brentford, 15th place, 5 points off the drop. But like you said, they're frisky, and you don't know which side you're going to get. So I would imagine night game at home Saturday against Manchester United. They're going to show up big time. So you guys got to show up. If United shows up, plays our game, we can win. If we don't, we'll lose. So Brentford, Huge match for United. We have to get the momentum going. We've got 3 tough matches in the league over the next 8 days. We got Brentford, then we got Chelsea away at the Bridge, and then we play the fucking dirty Scouse bastards once again on the weekend. So big
Footballing
3 games
gods.
coming up. I mean, this is it.
Footballing gods are cruel because
There's no way.
you like that FA Cup win.
You don't get both. You don't get both.
You're gonna get a served up, sir. I'll tell you, it's just one of those things.
You
where
don't get both.
Just enjoy it while we can, because I have a feeling there's gonna be some extra piss and vinegar in that game when they come to town. Regardless, let's focus on Brentford. What does this mean today? Like you said, 10 games left in the Premier League. What a year it's been. One to forget. 11 losses, 2 draws, 15 wins, with a goal differential that is 0. That is for everyone singing the praises of how the season has gone. That is a pretty rough.
Who's singing the praises of how the season's going?
It's just
I haven't heard one person sing a praise.
I hear like a lot of I'll tell you what, Alex.
He's hearing shadows over.
No,
there.
I'm not hearing shadows. Alex. He decided last season in the offseason to franchise the Excuse Factory, and it's just popping up all over Twitter. Injuries here, this and that. $1 billion team can't play well. It's it's the saddest story you've ever heard.
Sure.
Regardless,
Who are you following, bro?
That just seeing the table makes me mad. Like, just 6th place, 11 losses, 0 goal differential. David Moyes in 7th right here. United on 47 points. David Moyes game. They have played one more game. 44 points right behind us. Tottenham, 53 points. Even. So we're only 6 points off 5th now. And then Villa's been fading, 56. So you're looking at 9 to Villa.
They played an extra game.
They're in 4th, and they've played one extra game. So it is getting close. In the 4th, 5th, 6th spot, we're hearing the coefficient's going to come for the 5th place. But who knows? Alex is working on the calculations as we speak. Then you have City in 3rd, 63. Scouse Bastards in 2nd, 64. And Arsenal, the Noodlers.
A little engine that could. They all like Thomas the Tank Engine.
I mean, let's get into the United drama. So every game you got to win. Like every single home, away, injuries. Whatever, you gotta win. You're in 6th, and you're on the outside looking in. You gotta win, and then hope Villa and Tottenham wilt, which they will. They have a similar run-in that we do. I'm just concerned about these away Brentford, away Chelsea. Those are the ones that are going to get you. So a big 3 points against Brentford, you're setting the tone. And also right now, everyone's looking at the table. It's tightening up. Yeah. You win, you put pressure on the other teams. So how are we going to do in this spot? Because if we fall any farther, you gone.
Yeah, you don't have very much margin for error. So we have 4 tough opponents in our last 10, right? We got Liverpool, we've got Arsenal, we've got Chelsea, and Newcastle. They're on 10th now. So I don't think Eddie Howe's going to make it much longer. But they're always frisky. They have a solid squad, so they'll show up against Manchester United. So this is going to set the tone. Right, 3 big games in a week, 2 of which are arguably much more challenging than playing Brentford away. So you lose, or you come out like a wet noodle, you're going to be setting the tone in a negative way for the next, especially 2 game weeks, 2 matches. So this is such an important game. It's important to pick up 3 points because it's going to be easier than playing the Scousers or Gunners. And we also have to set the tone. We have to come out with momentum, and you have to use the game, the win against Liverpool, and that performance to catalyze the rest of the season. If you don't make the most of it, then it's a wasted opportunity, and United will not finish in Europe. I mean, maybe Europa League, but I don't want that shit.
Conference, baby.
We can win that.
Now let's just, because it's a preview pod, we got some extra time. Let's look at the top of the table. You got the Gunners, Scouse Bastards, City, obviously the cheaters. Right, you got the Noodlers, the Scouse Bastards, the cheaters, all within a point, and they've all played 28. I mean, this is great. You look at it as from a fan perspective. I believe City's going to Arsenal this weekend. Big games to play. League is on the line. For me, it's a 2-horse race. It's Arsenal and City. Liverpool, after we beat them, we cooked them. I mean, that's a back-breaking loss. They don't have nothing really. I just really feel like Liverpool has been on fumes. And, you
played off.
Everyone's saying we don't got players. You look at our bench compared to theirs, like look at the FA Cup quarters. It's like we have tons of great players on the bench. They got nobodies, and they've been able to ride this out. I think they're going to fall and fall fast. They're still going to be tough for us to play in that league game. But again, I really think it's City and Arsenal, and who knows how that's going to go. Everyone's going to probably think City is just going to go into full robot mode and just win every single game, and Arsenal's human. They got Declan Rice, a player we should have. It's tragic we do not have Declan Rice, but again, we probably ruin him. So at the end of the day, as a neutral, interesting to see that title race. I just hope City wins it, and then they come down with the ban and they take away all the titles, so it doesn't count. So you kind of take it away from Arsenal or something like that.
So second place gets it anyway. So Gunners, they get their
title.
But
they get it, but they don't get it.
Yeah,
they lose, like Mourinho, just like we're going to get it, but we're not going to get it.
Ole getting theirs, but not getting it.
They're not doing that.
No, City's to lose. They have the best squad. They're have
shaky.
The best recent track record. They're just getting, like, De Bruyne is back. Haaland's back in form. That freak show is going to start scoring goals. So they always turn it on at the end of the season, but it's like if Arsenal cannot slip up, well, I don't know. Last year they had a lot more cushion. This year, if they pulled it off, it would be even bigger achievement, right? Because they're chasing off two rivals. So we'll see. I think it's always exciting from a neutral perspective. Whatever happens, bro.
Yeah, I love taking
it. We can't control it. So it's like, it'll be fun. It's probably going to go down to the last game week.
No Liverpool. No Liverpool. I mean,
I'm not thinking Liverpool. I'm just saying, I don't even think, like you said, I have to agree, sir. It's like they've been running on vibes since the arguably through the EFL final. I don't think, like you said, like they have injuries, and also like I think they're just running out of juice. So we'll see. But they're going to drop points in the league. It's about how many points Arsenal can win, and if City can just basically play perfect, which they might. And then there's three guys chasing fourth, and Villa's in a firm position. It's theirs to lose. But if the coefficient goes our way, fifth could be enough. But hey, man, Spurs, those guys are running for their manager, so it's like if we perform, we can be there and we can get Europe. But if not, there's only one team to blame, and that's Manchester United.
Exactly. You are like Bill Parcells, baby. You are what your record is. They said, don't matter nothing else. It's like you stack them up and you're seventh at the end of the year. It's like, ain't good enough. You stack them up and you're fifth by the hair on your chinny chin, and you don't get cooked in the final of the FA Cup, then you know what? We'll talk. And it's just going to depend. It's all to play for. It's all on the table. The season's been like on how many death kneels we've had to survive. It's unbelievable. We're still there. We're still on the bubble. And you have to think, like, my gut tells me what doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. This team has been there to just like lay down and die, and they fought every time, but they just it's so funny because this team has done this so many managers. It's like they literally wait till the last minute, then they're like, "All right, let's get a result."
That's like crazy.
How much can we do that? And now you just got to play, and it's like we got to get over that whole like vibes FC. We got to turn up for 10 games, and you'll know. First 20 minutes away at Brentford, you'll get a good idea here if it's going to be back to business as usual, or there's going to be a spark that sets a fire for a run up the table, sir. Injuries, let's get into it. Breaking down Brentford here. Long list. Luke Shaw, Martinez, there was some good news around him, but at Brentford would be tight. Ahmad, he got the sending off for the 2 yellow cards. Probably not worth it because, we need him. Malacia, we'll get into that in the news. Johnny Evans, injured. Casemiro, as well as Maguire, is questionable. So, also Martial still plays for the team.
Apparently.
But you want to pick, like the Maguire news, tough with Evans out. That means you're going to get Lindelof coming in. Sir, how are you feeling about your 11?
No, I mean, I think this is going to be the dictator of how we finish the season, right? It's like every time we started to get some players back, everybody went out injured again. We're going to get Mounty's back in the game. I would love to see him start. That would be really fun to see with him, Kobe, and Bruno. Apparently Martinez is on the way back. He went and did some training with the Argentina squad during international break.
That's crazy.
If we can get Martinez back and he can stay back, if we can get Mount back,
makes no sense why he did that.
He just trained. He didn't play, so
it doesn't matter. It's like you don't.
They do it. What, sir? They do it because otherwise he just sits by himself in Manchester, and there's like 3 dudes there. So
by himself, he would be like literally at Carrington training every day, relaxing, not jet lag. Like,
they got a week off. They give him a week off for the first week of international break, and then they bring him back like this week.
But you would. imagine that if Martinez is a maniac, he would be training the week off. Like he's trying to get back fit. I don't like him going to international duty like that. That shows that there's ill discipline at Manchester United. Look, De Bruyne not playing for Belgium, Holland's not playing for Norway. Why? They're in a title run. Did they make up injuries? Probably. It's like keeping players at home when you got things going on is really critical, and United don't play that game. Sir Alex had to, when you're at the top of the league, you play that game. When you're Mashed Potatoes FC in 6, you don't. I don't like him going away to Argentina. That just shows the cracks how you don't run a team.
I think you're making a lot of this. I don't agree. And also, it's like you have to remember the Argentines are different. They're so protective about their spot.
He's out of our trainers, out of our facility, like doing God knows what. The guy gets injured. He goes so hard.
He's training.
It's like
he's just he didn't
it's
play.
About
he didn't go play against one of the South American countries.
But like once you give him up to international, like all bets are off as far as what he's doing, right? And that's the whole issue I have is like this guy is one of our top players, and we need him back to go on this 10-game run. I just don't like it. It's sidebar, but I just don't like it.
Okay. Different folks. I don't see a big deal about this at all. I think it's like a little camaraderie. Get to see his Argentinian pals for a week. Trains with them, right? I know you have to worry about him getting injured. But you have to worry about him getting injured in Manchester or, Rosario, wherever he is. I don't even know where the Argentines are training. But there's a lot of issues with this team, sir. So we're getting a real regime in this summer. That's what excites me. Let's finish the season with like some respectability.
I've rarely seen a player who's not playing for club go on international duty. This is the first, So I'm just that's.
But I've also never seen someone just go train and not even like they knew he wasn't going to play. They messaged it that way. I don't think it's that big
Martinez
a deal.
is going to do what Martinez wants. I think that's the end of the rope, sir. What's your starting 11 here for this game?
I got Onana in net. I'm going to do Delo. I guess it's Lindelof. I think Evans is going to make it. We saw him, sir. He was putting in the extra reps in the Abu Dhabi gym, so I think it's going to be him and Varane. ADWB is going to slot in a left back again. Not Eriksson, excuse me. I'm going to do Mason Mount, Kobe, and Bruno. Rashford on the left, Hoyland up front. Garnacho, who's getting his first start today for Argentina on the right. So who you got as your starting 11?
I'm going to say Onana, Delo, Varane, Lindelof, AWB at left back seem to work, so we'll keep that going. I like the midfield you said, Kobe, Bruno, Mount. I think that's probably a wide open midfield, unfortunately, because they haven't played together a lot, but you don't have a lot of options. Rashford, Højlund, Garnacho picks itself. That team is good. That team can be organized and play well against Brentford. I mean, realistically, that's a top team. That should be third in the league. Not saying it should be 6. And you got to be able to go to Brentford away and punish them. Go for it. I mean, look at that attacking talent. You got to be cooking them with that.
Hey, if we get that starting 6, that front 6 is a very as strong as the front 6 as we've had all season. Mason Mount. I think what we're going to see is just like his pressing ability, his ability to create, take pressure off Fernandez. Dude, I'm bullish.
Big up my boy, Mason Mount. Let's go.
Him, bro. Let's see if we can finally get a game.
Hey, shift football ends when Mason Mount
we'll see.
playing begins.
Hey, he played against Liverpool, sir. Came on for like the last 15.
I know.
2 goals. We got 2 goals.
Mason Mount effect. What's the bookies odds here?
It's tight. It's tighter than you would have thought, actually. Brentford plus 190, so slight underdogs, plus 270 for the draw, which if you're a neutral and you're a better, that's probably not a bad bet. And plus 130 for United on the road, sir. Given the odds, what is your score prediction?
I mean, flip a coin with this one. There's so many Uniteds that could show up. I'm going to say we're back, baby. I'm going to say we're going to go on a run. I mean, this has to be the time to go on the run. I think Mason Mount coming in is going to change the game. You got to score, but the concern that I have is ultimately we're going to score. Can we lock it up and make Brentford not score? That's what the issue has been all year. I'm going to say 2-1. We hit them for 2. We let 1 in. Nervy finish. We get the 3.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I can see every situation play out. I can see us getting battered. I can see like us leading and then blowing the lead and then drawing, or I could see us winning but squeaking it out. I could see like a 1-0. I'll call it a 1-0 penalty, second half penalty, and Brentford get like a last stab at it and there's some kind of controversy. So that's the kind of game I smell. Coming out of international break,
Controversy. Okay, I love it. Let's get into news.
Ya boy.
United in the news.
Ya boy.
Has anyone seen Gary Southgate?
God, Jesus.
Tell me about Gary Southgate, sir. Tell me the news here.
Well, a lot of smoke, you know. International breaks, you always get a lot of these stories. You heard every flavor of story. Players upset, players unhappy, blah, 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 blah. The story of the last 2 weeks has been the Gareth Southgate story. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, confident of luring... I don't know how much competition you're having. Confident of luring Gareth Southgate to Old Trafford as England boss emerges as the overwhelming choice to replace Erik ten Hag after Ineos hold talks with club legends. So, a couple things. I think that the front office is genuinely not decided yet whether or not they're going to can the guy, because I think smartly so. They're like, well, he could save his job if we finish in Europe and even, like you said, have a respectable end in the FA Cup, even if we don't win it. Like, don't get embarrassed. Fight for a little bit of respect.
What does the article say here?
Go down.
What does the article say here?
According to a podcast, he won't survive even if they win the FA Cup. I don't give a shit what Chris Sutton thinks, bro. Like, that's not the article. That's a lead into another post. So what does it say, sir? He won't survive
so like they're
even if he wins
talking
the FA
about
Cup.
the new owners are talking about another manager, right? I mean, like, that's just really, like, that's what it is. It's like it came out, broke early international break, and then all of a sudden people checked the sources and they were legit. And so Ineos, it's coming out, it's leaking out of Ineos that they're really hot and heavy on Southgate. We've heard Graham Potter.
About the same.
So that's all I'm saying.
That's
It's like new ownership, and they're talking about dating somebody else. That's really the story. Obviously, the shock jock Southgate reaction will spare you, as you've heard all week about how horrible he is. But it's more about Ineos, new manager. That's what it is. And for them to be like letting this thing fly and then not correcting the record is also interesting because, you know, I'm going to do
When
a
have
little
you seen
Mourinho.
any manager?
Respect, man. Respect.
It's not the job.
We have a manager. And then this is
They do
coming
the show all
out.
the time, bro. Like, this is nothing new. Like, first of all, it's the Daily Mail, bro. This is not like the
It was well sourced by multiple journos, right? Like,
I know, but,
even
like, you mean,
Andy
like-
Minton came out and was like, I looked into the sourcing. It was very legit. It's coming out from the Ineos camp, and that Southgate is this, and they think Ineos might be floating this to see the fan reaction. All I'm saying, new ownership is coming out, legitimate sourcing, and it's linked to a new manager. I'm not saying they made a call. I'm just saying this is the story. This is what
Which
it
is,
is.
it's fine. It happens all the time, but I don't think there's like a role of the club to be like push back against like dog shit journos. Like, oh,
They could back the manager. They could
They
come out and
they
be
also
like,
did leak. How are they going to back the manager? Like
they
they're
could be
saying,
like, we
back
want
the
to
manager.
stick with Ten Hag for another season.
But
the story
but
could
there
literally
are
be the
other
opposite.
journos on the other side of the fence. Like Fabrizio was saying, I'm playing your foil, sir. I'm just saying. What? Sir, all I'm saying is they also said he could be in his job. So it's like, we'll see what happens. If you think Gareth Southgate is the guy, what's your thoughts on this, sir? Are you excited about Gareth Southgate?
Trying to talk about the article. I'll edit it, but it's like you're arguing with me. I'm literally saying the new ownership is linking to the article.
So let's just talk about that.
That's what I'm trying to do, dude. You're arguing with me about, like, what are you arguing? I don't even know what you're arguing with me about. What are you arguing with me about?
I'm just
It's all about this. It's like, as soon as you get to the manager, you just get defensive. I'm like, bro, I'm talking.
getting defensive.
The new owners are linking to a new manager. That's it.
That's it.
So then why are you're pushing back on me?
I know,
about
but you're
what?
taking this as they said it. It's just the Daily Mail, bro.
It's not, bro. I'm not saying nothing that he's gone. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck either. I'm just like pushing back.
What does the new ownership talking about hiring a different guy tell you? It tells you that they're thinking about not going with Ten Hag. It's fucking deductive reasoning. It's like, what is that controversial?
This is them
Then
talking
why are you
about?
arguing?
How is this them talking? This is the Daily Mail, bro.
Andy Minton, ESPN, all the legit journos went to the source and they verified it. That's why it started as bullshit and then it was like, oh, this is legit. Everyone verified it. It was like, this is legit sourced. They are interested in Southgate. Like, That's what I said. I said that to you.
I saw nothing legit other than the Daily Mail. So you acted like-
Everyone.
Okay, so then they want
Andy Mitten interviewed. He checked out the source, said it's legit, and said this is literally them floating Southgate to see what the fans will think.
Well, there you go. So let's talk about that.
That's what I said
Well,
on the pod.
I didn't buy this rumor. I never saw.
I literally said Andy
I
Mitten
didn't see
sourced
David
it. It's
or-
legit.
Okay,
They're
well-
talking about another manager. What does that mean? It means they're talking about another
Yeah, it means
manager.
they're
Why
probably-
would they talk about another manager? Because they fucking want to get rid of Ten Hag. It's deductive reasoning. It's like, wow, is it so controversial, dude? Like, what is so wrong with you? Get so triggered about this shit. It's like, stop. I want to fucking talk about Southgate, dude. You're arguing about, like, what is it with this shit, dude? I'm
You're
just like
taking
so.
it as gospel, sir. You're taking it as like, I don't care, bro. Let's just go.
Ineos has a source that told everyone they want Southgate. That's what it is.
Great.
So
Well,
why do you want to fight me about it? I don't give a
fighting you
fuck about this.
So let's go.
I don't give a
Okay,
fuck.
let's do
I
the
just want to
pod.
do the pod. I
Let's
want
do
to
the-
talk about Southgate.
Okay,
instead
talk
I'm
about
doing this
Southgate,
shit, dude.
Stop fucking ranting.
But
Let's go.
every time you talk about this manager, you get so fucking tweaked,
I
and you
don't
just
get-
like it's your. Do you know people are listening? It's like, think about it, dude. That's why I'm pointing at the fucking
Chill the
article.
fuck out, bro.
Dude, I'm just sick of this. I'm sick. This is like
the fuck out,
number
bro.
10 on the fucking list. I want to talk about
Chill the fuck
Gareth
out.
Southgate.
Stop yelling at me. Stop
I
yelling
want
at
to talk about fucking Gareth Southgate. I'm pointing at the article, like, talk about it, dude.
Yelling
And
at
you're,
me, bro. Stop fucking
Dude.
yelling at me.
I'm gonna have to do more fucking work on this shit, and that's what pisses me off. I'm fucking sick of it, dude. It's like, think of people listening, talk about fucking the article, and it's like, instead you're arguing about me about like. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this shit. I don't care. I'm just telling you, Ineos has a source that is telling people this,
Now let's go. Let's do.
and you're fighting that.
I didn't see Ineos having a source, okay? So I didn't even know what you're talking about. I just saw this one fucking article, and you're acting like
Look.
this is like they said it. So I that's what I was reacting to.
Ratcliffe has reportedly made England boss Southgate his number one target. I'm literally circling.
You're acting like
The
this
article.
but it's a Daily Mail. I don't need to get in this thing again. So let's just act like this is
This has been
is true.
verified by multiple people.
So it's true.
All
So
high
let's act
up
like it's
on
true.
like
Okay, so it's
Andy
true.
Mitten is literally like, I've looked into this. This is legit. They think they're briefing this to see what fans
perfect.
will think.
Let's start over.
It
Let's
is-
go. Let's go.
If you
Then
read
stop
anything
ranting.
online, it is clear Ineos and Southgate, this is real.
Okay,
and
whatever you
like,
say.
right or
Sure.
wrong,
Okay,
whether
fine,
you like it
fine.
or not, this is.
I saw nothing
It's
as
been a week.
verifiable as you're attesting to. So let's go and act like this is the truth.
So have you? What have you listened?
I follow the fucking news just as much as you do, bro. So all I'm saying is like I haven't
It
seen
came
like,
out as bullshit in the Daily Star, and then other people looked at it and checked into the source,
So
and
great.
it was
so
legit.
it's verifiable truth according to John. So let's fucking act
It's
like
not
this is-
according to me.
Okay, well I didn't see any of this as you said. So
So you did. So this is an argument against me because you think I'm full of shit.
not an argument
That's
against
the
you.
point.
It's like you're acting like this is like set in stone, and I don't care. It is fine. Let's act like it is and just get this fucking over with.
All right, no. We're a legitimate source, and like we have to source everything because otherwise, then that's it. That's the whole point. So I'll get the source. I've listened to interviews, dude, and it's like you don't believe me. So, like, what's the fucking point, dude? It's just like get to the fucking Southgate. Like, why are you so upset?
I'm not upset, sir. I just didn't see this as like definitive news, like coming out of Ornstein.
Even Southgate commented on it.
We asked the question, bro.
So again, you dispute this as fake news.
I don't care now. I trust you.
So like, no, this is just a waste of time.
well, do
then.
you find where's the articles, bro? Where's like
Okay. From Jamie Jackson, Guardian. Southgate is admired by Jim Ratcliffe
There you
and
go.
Brailsford. He is
Okay.
one of the many potential new managers who enjoy this status.
There you go. Okay.
From ESPN, Rob Dawson, Gareth Southgate, all been discussed internally as
So he's
replacements for
admired.
Ten
He's
Hag.
admired. Okay.
From Ratcliffe. I listened to an interview with Andy Mitten. He's like the biggest vet it, don't call out BS guy. There
And he
is.
said they
And
want- he
said
said they
literally,
want
this is
Gareth-
he said it's legit.
Okay,
It's coming
then
from Ineos.
well, I didn't see
and
that. All I
and
saw
he
was some
thinks that
smoke.
he thinks that it's like literally
Okay, then we're
testing the waters with
So
the
sorry.
fans.
I didn't mean to fuck it up the pod, bro. I didn't mean to give you more work. I never want to give
No,
you
but
more
it's
work.
just always so defensive about Ten Hag, dude. And I'm just sick of it, dude. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about this article, bro. I just want to talk about it and get through
Let's
it
talk
to
about
get
it.
done.
Let's start over and
Don't you understand that
Yes,
type of shit?
Stop
I just want to
lamenting and let's do it.
I get it, dude.
You're yelling
It's
at
just
me, and I get it, bro. I'm sorry.
But this has been all fucking year, and I just want to, like, it's like we get in the pod, and then you forget that people have to listen to us, and it's like, hello, Ineos is interested in Southgate. Like, let's talk about that, and instead we're debating, like, you're defensive with me, and it's like you're not even letting us talk about the article because it's just like, and I'm like, if you wanted to write the article's bullshit, like, write that there. And then look at the sources and tell me why you think it's fucking bullshit. But I think people just want to hear a talk about Southgate.
Let's talk about Southgate.
Bro, someone who's in a rush, it's like, Jesus. Mark Ogden. Gareth Southgate has significant support within the new Ineos-led hierarchy at Manchester United to replace Ten Hag
let's go.
as the manager will lose his job at the end of the season from Mark Ogden. Is that a guy who's legit?
He's not that legit. He's a ESPN, but he's not tier 1, bro. So yes, he is. I'll take it.
I mean,
as
these are
verified fact. Yes,
It came out in bullshit,
That's fine.
and then all
Fine.
these legit people started.
maybe I'm reacting to the fact that I just don't want Gareth Southgate. I don't give a fuck about Eric Ten Hag.
Yes, and I think that's the case. But I'm also trying to be like,
I'm not
I
trying to
followed the story and then looked at all the. I was surprised of all the legit people sourcing it.
So
afterwards.
let's redo it. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean. I wasn't getting defensive of Eric Ten Hag. Maybe it was like taking Gareth Southgate as the guy.
No, it's like.
Okay, let's go.
No, it's. I thought it dropped and it was complete horseshit, and then other people sourced it.
Yeah, that ugly horse motherfucker is gonna be like, good, great.
Bro, this Dutch guy is gonna kill us. It's gonna be the end of the pod. United in the news. International break comes, and obviously there's going to be some crazy stories. The journos need the clicks, sir. What do we got?
Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe confident in luring Gareth Southgate to Old Trafford as England boss emerges as the overwhelming choice to replace Eric Ten Hag. After Ineos hold talks with club legends, this has been gaining a lot of momentum over the last 2 weeks. You know, a lot of transfer and just general noise during international break is noise. But this is gaining momentum with a lot of journos, a lot of top journos. It seems like, you know, they've already made their decision. Eric Ten Hag is going to be on the way out, and they want the finest manager in all of England. Gareth Southgate can't win a cup. Did so well at Middlesbrough. This is concerning, mainly because, you know, we've been very positive about Ineos. I'm very bullish about who they're putting in place and how Sir Jim Ratcliffe thinks and his methodology. But signing Gareth Southgate says one of two things. A, they're going to get this wrong before they get it right, which we also said was highly likely. And Gareth Southgate will not succeed at Manchester United. I will put a stake in the ground there all day. Or more likely is that they want a yes man, someone they can kind of push around, who doesn't want a lot of say, who will be lucky just to have the position, which I think Gareth Southgate would fit that all day. But that also might make sense in the interim as they try to rebuild the squad and don't want somebody who has a lot of thoughts like Eric Ten Hag would. So what are you making of this story, sir?
Respect, man. Respect.
I mean, well, look, new owner. It came out in the Daily Star, which is a horseshit rag for all those who don't know. And then it got sourced by other journos. And then it looks like this is coming from Ineos' direction. Andy Mitten said basically he had sourced it, came from Ineos, and then maybe he thinks the new owner is, you know, floating Southgate to see what fans might think. I think it's clear fans do not want Gareth Southgate. I think there's obvious reasons why. Obviously, strong England contingent backing United, and England just couldn't get it over the line in many competitions, despite having arguably the best team. But again, that's a hard argument, and we're not in that. We're in the U.S. men's national soccer team
We have
landscape.
our own Southgate. He's kind of an American Southgate, Burheffer.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd take Southgate over him. But look, Southgate, he's a polarizing figure in England. But I want to get to the real crux of the biscuit of the article is Ineos briefing or is leaking out Ineos and sourced by multiple legit sources that they are basically looking for a new manager. And obviously you can read the tea leaves in many different ways. But here you're looking at Ineos briefing about new and different managers while, we still have a strong finish to the season, sir.
Well, you know what? That's not going to motivate a team. So, I personally would have waited till a little bit later in the season until we drop those points before leaking who you want the next manager to be. So, hey, man, this is a reflection of how they want to do business. They want to go all English. I don't think that's the best approach. I don't think the English, just like purely like where they're from, is necessarily the best way to go. I know we have a strong English core, given Brailsford, Ratcliffe.
Barada's not English.
No, he's not. He's Moroccan French. But I think we need a little mix, right? You have what's it called? The French guy who joined as well. He's French. So I don't think shoehorning in an English manager. I think we made that mistake with Moyes. It was like Fergie was like, well, I picked the Scottish guy because I want another Scottish manager, and that was a fucking disaster. This will be a disaster, but like we've been saying, Ratcliffe, and they're going to get shit wrong. And manager is one of the biggest decisions they'll make in the near term, and this would be a mistake, but we're going to get mistakes, and that's going to happen, and it's all about the guy after Southgate, because Gareth Southgate would eat through an iron bar to be Manchester United manager. I don't think you should hire guys who have only had relative success in international duty and cups, right? I think you need someone who knows how to win in a league, who compete in a league and Europe, and I think hired some guy who has never won anything with England, and just has had success. Because you look at clubs, Middlesbrough was a fucking disaster. I don't know. I wouldn't go that approach. That seems risky.
Absolutely. I mean, and here's the thing: when you talk about this article, legitimately sourced, right? That means someone at Ineos is talking about Gareth Southgate. I don't know how they're being briefed. Look, there's probably a lot going on with the transition in the new club. So, yeah, would it surprise me that they're running down other managerial candidates and maybe they've had discussions between camps and this came out? Does it mean Erik ten Hag is going to be fired? Absolutely not. But it is kind of out there and getting louder and louder, and obviously they haven't necessarily backed the Dutchman to the hilt. This could be putting pressure on Erik ten Hag to get results. Nothing's done here, but nothing. The journalists love a clickbaity international break story, and then obviously the fan outrage, all the Muppets being like,
perfect
Southgate's
storm.
horrible, da 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 da. Now, here's the thing about Ineos that you're going to realize, and I think United fans are not ready for this, because over the last decade, we've had the new manager hype, 400 million, win now, fail, new manager hype, 400 million, win now, fail, right, over and over again. And you're not going to get that again. We're not going to get that this summer. We're not going to get that in a new manager. I think the next manager for Manchester United fans will be disappointed in the hire. I think Ineos is going for a Graham Potter, Southgate type of manager because they have experience with Dan Ashworth, who most likely is coming in as director of football. They are not going to kick up dirt in the press. They're not going to be trying to get the ownership to spend a lot of money. They're just going to do what they're told. They're going to manage the team through the transition. I think the next manager is a transition manager who's just going to steer the ship, not kick up dust upstairs with the director of football and the new ownership. And I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a yes man, not a controversial guy. Look, even Erik ten Hag, he has ambition. He wants to sign players. He wants to go on and win things. Even a Nagelsmann or a Tuchel, they're going to be complaining. They're going to be out in the press. I need better players. Da-da-da-da-da. They don't want that.
Yeah.
It's a 2 to 3 year rebuild. They want somebody who's their boy, who's going to go out, take arrows in the chest of the pressers, get heat from fans. It's going to be the exact opposite of the Tuchel, the Nagelsmann, the hype, the go spend money type of thing. They're going to not do that again. And we need the guy before the guy. So the only thing Southgate has done, he went in England when they were a shit show. They got great players, better players than Manchester United. It was an absolute disaster. And he's so boring over such a long period of time that he's kind of calmed that down. Now, is he the guy to win England anything? No. He did the whole AFC,
taking home the Euros,
play for penalties in the Euros
terrible.
Against Italy when they had the better team. They should have gone for the win.
And put in the cold players.
And he put in the cold play. He's a bottler,
He's a
100%.
He's a bad manager.
I don't want Southgate at United. But then again, every manager I wanted at United hasn't worked out. So what the fuck do I know? And maybe we need the opposite of what everyone's thinking. I have to think it's just going to get a lot boring, and fans are going to be more disappointed. We're going to be disappointed with signings. We're going to be disappointed with the next manager. We're going to be disappointed with who we let go and who we don't sign. And I think that's going to be the next 3 years.
No, it's fair. Rebuild's coming. Rebuild's been needed for a long time, and we have a new sheriff in town, and they're going to want to do it their way. If it sounds credible, it feels like credible in that both the managers that we're being attached to, Potter and Southgate, fit the mold, right? Like, I don't want to say lack of ambition, but they're guys that are nowhere near good enough to be the manager of Manchester United, so they'd have this appreciation, and then they wouldn't, like you said, they wouldn't cause waves, they wouldn't shake things up too much. They would fall in line. They'd be a company man, and that's probably what they want in the near term until we rebuild things, because we're not winning anything in the near term.
Stability. Think about an owner. Like, they're thinking the stadium. They're thinking this. They're thinking rebuild. They want a guy who's not going to be a drama queen. The opposite of a Mourinho. Who is the opposite of Mourinho? Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, Grandpa.
He's not going to win nothing, and he's not going to create any controversy. And that they want someone boring. And I honestly think the next 3 years, as much as fans say we want this rebuild, we want this and that, and build for the long term, as a fan, that's not fun.
No.
It's not fun. And it's that's going to be a ninth place season. We're clinging on to dear life in 6. We're all upset, but, you look at the team, and this isn't the team for the future. That's why we're so, and so you might have a team for the future that finishes in 9th, finishes in 10th. All good teams go through that type of real down rebuild season. That could be next year. And who better to take the helm than some boring, vest wearing.
Those vests need to be shot into
English breakfast eating Gareth Southgate. So, getting into the next news. Tell them about the stadium.
United owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe outlines vision of 100,000-seater state-of-the-art rebuilt Old Trafford to rival Bernabeu and the new camp. This is also hearing lots of news around this from lots of journos. It seems like Sir Jim and co. prefer the rebuild angle. They want to go big. They want to go biggest stadium in England, maybe push it up against Wembley. I don't know what their count is, 95, maybe 105. But this is what we should be doing. It's sad. It's going to be very not unpopular, but I want to say divisive about tearing down Old Trafford and rebuilding. Obviously, in a perfect world, I would have loved them to shine up that old girl and make her look amazing. But that ship has sailed, because that stadium has basically been in complete dereliction for the last 30 years. And now it's such a mess that it would be a waste of money to spend $1.25 billion fixing up Old Trafford when you could spend a little bit more.
For the record, you tear
new...
it all down, right? They're not going to keep anything, right? The field they'd keep, but the stadium would come down right around it. I mean, it's
I'm not an engineer, so I don't know, but
majority
some component they want to keep, because why would then you just tear it down anyway, right?
Well, you're just moving the grass. Ultimately, is
you'd probably keep the top thing, right? The top giant facade. I don't know, but this makes sense, because guess what? It's the old stadium. Is that ADA compliant? I doubt it. It has so much work to be done. The game has changed. People want more from their experience. When you hear Ratcliffe, he was on some cycling pod last week, and he's you want to go there and spend 15, 25 pounds instead of 5, because there's other stuff to do. So I think making Old Trafford and the surrounding area a destination. He also talked about the trains. He's people need to be able to get to Piccadilly.
Oh my God.
In less than an hour, without having a killer named Muhammad drive us the best driver in Manchester. He took us to the promised land. This makes sense. It's going to piss people off, but we need a brand new stadium.
No, that's where they're leaning. They want to also get Manchester and have a public project redevelop the canal. I think this is great, because as a United fan, it's you want that development of the entire area. You want more to do. You want the public transport as well. It is pretty hellish getting out of Old Trafford, trying to get down to Piccadilly to catch a train back to London. So look, we'll keep you posted here, but I think trending in the right direction, and thinking of a project 100,000 seat Wembley of the North.
That's exciting.
You can't get away from that. That is exciting, and put down the marker for the next 100 years for football in the north of England. Another report here, apparently Ineos have intervened and are set to hand Scott McTominay a new contract. How are we feeling here?
I'm okay with it. I think no matter what, if you look at the midfield and the depth and who's going to leave this summer and who might leave this summer, Scotty McTominay has a role as a bit player. He's a squad player. He can come off the bench. He can be frisky in the box. He could score a goal or two. I think he showed his worth this year, especially like late on games. Bring him on. He's dangerous in the box. He could defend our box well. So I'm okay with this. What do you think, sir?
Look, Scott McTominay is great if he's a squad player. If you're relying on him to play number 10 as the Wild Weghorst Jr. to score us goals to win us games, that's the one. It's a player that you want him to be a squad player, and I feel like we can't get away from having him start every game just because we can't really put a full 11 together, and that's just been the season. So I like Scotty. Love the hard work. It's just the way the managers used him. I like the squad to be established to the point where we weren't relying. It's almost like moving off of Fellaini ain't easy because he comes on and gets you those winners, but then you're playing hoofball, and where did it all go? Jumping into fan questions here at D_Cole18. In my opinion, we need to take the rest of the year with a grain of salt. We all know season's cooked, and Erik ten Hag will probably be fired. Just have a change for Ineos. Erik ten Hag needs to let all the players we know will be here next year start getting all of the games so we have a better idea of what we need. Look, I don't think he's cooked. I think there's a lot going on. There's no CEO. There's no DOF. I'm sure they're running. They got so many people working on so many different things, and it's all coming out. Because Ineos should not be leaking that story. It shouldn't be well-sourced when we have a manager. I mean, that's disrespectful for Erik ten Hag. Clubs usually don't do that. But again, all bets are off with this new ownership, and they probably got consultants talking to so many people. So who knows? I take all these rumors with a grain of salt. But you're not hearing the absolute support for Ten Hag. You're hearing a new manager. So when you play the X-Files music and you're reading the tea leaves, you're probably thinking some boring English coach doesn't deserve it, will be our manager next year at the moment. Now, if Ten Hag wins the FA Cup and goes on a hell of a run, then he's going to be the man. There's no way to get around that. He controls his own destiny, and I hope we end the season strong and kick on from there.
But they're probably looking like, hey, if he wins the FA Cup, if he finishes in 5th, then he can keep his job. But
he should.
That's an outside. Yes, he should. I agree with that all day. But that's an outside odds, right? If you look at the odds, you got to beat a City in the final. That's going to be really challenging.
Or
And
Chelsea.
Also, you have to make up points. I'd love to. We could beat Chelsea. City would be tough. So they are planning for a manager. So I think either way, it's like we'll see how the season ends. But they've only made 2 decisions, really. If you think about it, they've hired Omar Barada, which nobody saw coming, and then Ashworth. They're getting the guy. They haven't signed it yet, but it is looking like it's just a matter of if, not when. Excuse me, when, not if. On Dan Ashworth. So it's like, let's see what happens. I think this is going to be a big summer for them. But you know what? After talking this out, if you were to hire some dry toast manager like a Southgate or a Potter, just while they tear up the squad, I guess that makes sense. We're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out over time. I'm confident in Radcliffe.
You also don't know the full story. There's been a lot going on at Old Trafford this season. A lot of falling outs. Manager, training. We've heard a lot of just bluffing from the players, right? And Ineos has probably a better beat of actually what's going on. So, whatever call they make, you have to take it with a grain of salt. At Randy Scrandy L. So suppose we get rid of Varane and Casemiro, we renew McTominay, we sack Ten Hag, we hire Southgate and keep a bunch of underperforming dead wood, Shaw, Maguire, Evans, etc. Are we really still going to be satisfied with Ineos? I'm highly unimpressed. And this seems to be the Southgate news is pushing fans against Ineos. That has been the vibe. A lot of voices out there, sir. What do you think?
At this stage, like I said, other than the 2 decisions I talked about, we have no idea. We have no idea what they're going to do with the players. We have a premonition. We have an inkling that we think Varane will go, Casemiro will go because they want to lean out the wage bill. But we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know who they're going to keep. They don't know what they're going to do with Bruno and Rashford, let alone Maguire, Evans, Shaw. So let's see what happens. So far, the decisions they made, I'm supportive because they're already a large divide between the types of decisions the Glazers were making week in, week out. So, hey, I like the guy who's CEO. I like the board. I like the new DOF once we get him. Let's see what they do this summer.
I think they shouldn't give a shit what fans think because fans wanted every manager and fans wanted Maguire for 80 million and fans wanted Pogba and fans wanted Lukaku and fans wanted LVG and fans we went along with this whole like get the manager, hype train, buy overpriced players, hype train. We need the opposite. We need boring, pragmatic business that pisses fans off, that over time helps us take our medicine so we stop playing shit football. And I think that's just going to be a shit process, and fans are going to be not happy about it. That's not saying we should hire Southgate, who hasn't coached a successful, like, top European club at all. Like, that's not what they should do. But I do think there's going to be some decisions fans don't like. I think Ineos's job is to make the tough calls, and tough calls are when the fans don't back you. But as fans, we've been completely wrong about the last decade. And if you're honest, you would say it. Because maybe Moyes, I thought, wouldn't work. LVG, I thought Mourinho, they should have backed him a little more. But, at the end of the day, I thought these big money signings would work. Like, who thought Sanchez would come from Arsenal and just be like the worst signing ever? It's like, that was incredible. Like, the touch that we have, the touch of death in the transfer market has been incredible.
Yeah, we're due for it to swing back the other way. But, like, I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, fans don't know shit, bro.
Exactly.
Fans don't know a fucking thing.
That's why we're here.
Also, fans don't agree on shit, first and foremost. It's like the fan base for Manchester United is not a monolith, and it's enormous. So it's like you'll find just as many people in one camp as the opposite camp. And we don't know shit because everything that we've been like advocating for, other than like structural change at the top, like I don't know, like why not Lukaku? Why not Paul Pogba? It's like because you got to do it. Sometimes you have to do it
because
boring.
It's all about
That's
like
how you
the
build a stable
LA
business.
mansion hype video, and then they get on the pitch and nothing comes through, sir. But look, that's it. That's the podcast. International break. Brentford preview in the bag. Football's back, baby. We're excited. You like the American Red Devils? Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/American Red Devils, AmericanRedDevils.store, AmericanRedDevils.com. Sir, give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? Dublin, Ireland, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Philadelphia, PA, Melbourne, Australia, Brooklyn, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, and last but not least, Manchester, England. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. Big game this weekend against the Bees. Let's not get stung.